Alright, this is my Ducati gauze filter inspection and oil change. First I'm going to show you how to break a Craftsman 5mm hex socket off in your oil drain plug. Sweet. So I've already pulled the bolts out of the cover for the gauze filter. So since I have a 5mm hex socket broken off into my oil drain plug, I went ahead and just pulled the bolts out and dropped the cover off the gauze filter and drained the oil out that way. It's always a good idea to change this filter, to clean this filter out. Ducati requires it every other oil change, but I think Ducati's oil change intervals are 7,500 miles. I do my oil changes every 3,000 miles, so I pull this cover off about every 9,000 miles. Every third oil change is how I do it. You do it however you want because it is your bike. So I've dropped the Ducati oil filter and I've cleaned off the dripping oil. Now I'm scraping off the residual sealant that keeps that cover on the bottom of the bike, keeps the oil from your bike dripping out onto the road like a piece of shit Harley Davidson does. So once you get that all cleaned off, set it aside. I'm going to go ahead and install a new Ducati OEM oil filter on the bike, and I twist it down till it's hand tight, and then I give it a good crank down with an oil filter wrench. About a half a turn is all you really need to tighten it down. With the amount that the Ducati vibrates, I don't think you want your oil filter falling out. Then I take a pair of vice grips and I just reach up there and I grab the little pipe that sticks out of the bottom of the gauze filter, and you just pull it straight out. You want to inspect it, make sure that there's no like metal chunks or anything stuck on your filter. Here's it coming out again, and see, it's pretty clean. You want to inspect that little green O-ring. There's one at the top too. Make sure they're okay. They're going to be okay for 100,000 miles. Even though Ducati tells you to replace them, it'll be alright if you don't do it this time. So you just put the oil filter back up into place, tap it in, and then you can put your cover back on. Cover's pretty easy to do. Put some high temp sealant on there. I used Permatex this time. Obviously I didn't use Permatex last time. I used something else that was clear. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten our screws back in. As you see, I'm using a torque socket because yes, another one of my hex head, those quality Ducati bolts, rounded out. So I went ahead and I pounded a Torx head socket into the bolt so I could break it free. So my next trip to Ducati, I'll be picking up 4 of these and an oil drain plug. So as you can tell, I tightened it down, but I didn't super torque it. You just want to snug it up, just give that sealant a chance to dry onto the engine case. So we just wipe down the residual oil, clean everything up. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill it up. What I normally do is take the oil up to the top marker, maybe a little bit further. That way when you start it up and the oil filter fills up, your oil level will pretty much drop down to the middle of the sight glass. I like to be just over halfway up the sight glass, that way my bike's got plenty of lubrication. These videos would sound great with a little bit of background music, but YouTube seems to flag all my videos if I have slacker radio playing in the background. And don't forget to put your oil filler cap back on. Hope this helped you all figure out what that gauze filter is and how to remove it. Hope you have better luck than I did this time. Now get out there and ride that thing.